US President Donald Trump says he has an obligation, without delay, to select a new Supreme Court judge. Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, died yesterday, aged 87. Sally Lockwood has more.
It's highly controversial to rush a decision like this through so close to an election, though, Isabel. We only need to cast our minds back to 2016 when the Republican-led Senate blocked a vote on Barack Obama's nomination for the Supreme Court, and that was just a little less than 10 months out from the election. Well, we're now only 45 days away, and Donald Trump has already signalled that he plans to put through his nomination for a vote to the Senate prior to the election, which is proving highly controversial because while this is a presidential nomination, it needs to be approved by the Senate. And of course, the landscape could change dramatically in just 6 weeks' time if the Senate changes hands, or indeed if there's a new president. But to understand just what status this Supreme Court justice had. Take a look at this. I mean, crowds have been gathered outside the Supreme Court here in Washington ever since the news of her passing last night. All generations turning up to pay their respects, laying flowers. She became an icon of popular culture in recent years. In her 80s, there are young girls who dressed up as her at fancy dress parties and at Halloween, people who had tattoos of her, people who wore T-shirts saying Notorious RBG, a play on words of the rapper Notorious B.I.G., who came from the same New York neighborhood of Brooklyn as Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Now, let me just introduce a couple of people who I've met a few moments ago. Ella and Chris, thanks so much for speaking to us. Can you help explain why it was important for you guys to come down here today and just why she was so popular?
Yeah, absolutely. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was really a powerhouse of a person for so many reasons. So many of the rights that we all enjoy today are because of her and because of the Supreme Court. I mean, presidents come and go, members of Congress come and go, but the Supreme Court is kind of the one institution in the United States that has some semblance of consistency, and so this is a really hard day.
There are 9 Supreme Court justices here, just to give you an idea. 4 of them have been liberal. Of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is one of those, and she has now passed. There's a conservative majority already in the Supreme Court here, the highest court in the land. And now, of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg did fight for gender equality, for female rights, and they do define the policies that impact Americans' everyday lives here. It's a hugely powerful institution, and there is concern that if another nomination is pushed through prior to the election, that will impact the lives of Americans. This has far-reaching consequences for people who sit at the top table in the highest court in the land. While you can vote a president out, the role of a Supreme Court justice lasts a lifetime, and the fact that they are trying to now potentially push through this nomination prior to the election in just 45 days' time does threaten to pour petrol on an already intense time in American politics.
Former US President Barack Obama has released an emotional statement highlighting her legacy. It reads, "Ruth Bader Ginsburg fought to the end through her cancer with unwavering faith in our democracy and its ideals. She inspired the generations who followed her, from the tiniest trick-or-treaters to law students, burning the midnight oil to the most powerful leaders in the land." He also described her as a warrior for gender equality, someone who believed that equal justice under law only had meaning if it applied to every single American.